The Animal Hospital of Woodstock, we only see the small dogs and cats. There are a lot of veterinarians around here there's some that specialize in just equine or horses. There's some who do just cattle, and a lot of the large animal doctors will do all across the board with farm animals and horses. So
that would be one of those specialties then. So
yeah, it's more of I would say, a concentration of interest. You can specialize in equine surgery or equine internal medicine, but there's many very good general practitioner farm animals who just concentrate in the farm animal atmosphere, just like we concentrate in dogs and cats.
What about exotic pets? And I'll break that down. There used to be an exotic pet store in Marengo, not here anymore, but I know they're around. So I'm talking about snakes and iguanas and birds and
again,
gerbils. And I guess a gerbil wouldn't be an exotic pet. I guess
it falls in the exotic.
I don't know where it would fall in that.
We call those pocket pets.
Pocket pets, okay.
Pets
See, I'm learning all sorts of things here today. So pocket pets. So what do you guys treat those?
Again, we don't really see those at Woodstock because none of us really pursued the extra education that it takes for those sort of pets. What I would do is just call around to the local veterinarians in Marengo, Woodstock, Huntley, all over the place.
So they could even call you and say, my pet snake. I don't want to offend the snake people out there, but why you would have a pet snake, I have no idea. But I have relatives that have pet snakes. But anyway, my pet snake's looking, I don't know how you would even know, but you guys could refer them to somebody.
Absolutely. The least they could do is give us a call, and we can help point them in the right direction.
So then it's primarily that you deal with would be cats and dogs.
Absolutely.
Is there one you prefer over, I'm not putting you on the spot here, but is there one you prefer over the other?
I grew up with dogs and always had them, but I've grown a fondness of cats too. Probably end up working in a veterinary office with my own cat or a few cats, I imagine pretty soon here. So I'd say I like working with them just as equally.
Okay, perfect. You're listening to WXMRLP Marengo. Our guest today is Dr. Dustin, Animal Hospital Woodstock. Hopefully he'll become our resident vet and he'll come back and visit us occasionally. You can hear us at 94.3 LP, and we broadcast from Marengo Community High School, which high school will be back in session next week, starting a little early this year. Dr. Dustin, let's do one more song, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit. And we'll close out for the hour. What's our next song here, Dr. Dustin?
All right. Well, let's stick with the country theme, and let's see if you've got "That's What I Love About Sundays" by Craig Morgan.
We'll see if it comes up here.
Raymond's in his Sunday best. He's usually up to his chest in oil and grease. There's the Martins walking in with that mean little freckle-faced kid who broke a window last week. Sweet Miss Betty likes to sing off-key in the pew behind me. That's what I love about Sunday. Sing along as the choir sways every verse of Amazing Grace. And then we shake the preacher's hand, go home into your blue jeans, have some chicken and some baked beans, pick a backyard football team, not do much of anything. That's what I love about Sunday. Stroll to the end of the drive, pick up the Sunday Times, grab a coffee cup. It looks like Sally and Rod finally tied the knot. Well, it's about time. There's 35 cents off a ground round. Baby, cut that coupon out. That's what I love about Sunday. Catnapping on the porch swing, you curled up next to me. The smell of jasmine wakes us up. We take a walk down a back road, tackle box and a cane pole. carve our names in that white oak. I steal a kiss as the sun fades. That's what I love about Sunday. Oh yeah. New believers getting baptized. Mama's hands raised up high, having a hallelujah good time. A smile on everybody's face. That's what I love about Sunday. Oh yeah. That's what I love about Sunday.
And we are back. What were we listening to, Dr. Dustin?
That's What I Love About Sunday by Craig Morgan.
Craig Morgan. Okay. You're listening to WXMR LP. It's Your House. I'm your host, Tim Sebastian. Get a hold of me at tim@timothysebastian.com. I'm a local real estate broker with Century 21 New Heritage with offices in Hampshire, Huntley, and right here in Maringo. And we're also a sponsor of WXMR 94.3 FM. So, we're closing out the hour here. Our guest is Dr. Dustin from the Animal Hospital of Woodstock. Just a couple quick questions here. Some people floated on me. If I have an indoor pet, does it really need to have shots every year?
All right. Do they have to? No. Should they? Yes. And actually, legally, they are required to be covered by a rabies shot.
Okay, so they have to have a rabies shot. I think the person was specifically asking, can we over-medicate our pets? Can we over-immunize them? I mean, if I have a pet, you and I just had this discussion on the break. If I have my pets, we don't take them anywhere. They're not traveling pets. We don't go to dog parks, so they're at home or they're at the vets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't travel around, so we don't get the Bordetella immunization.
Right.
So are there certain things, not saying that you have to skip, but
Right.
do I need to go, can we over-immunize our dogs or can we over-medicate them?
Yeah, so it's actually a very controversial issue in the field of veterinary medicine because there's constant research going on right now, and some studies are publishing saying, well, no, we don't need to vaccinate our pets every year. We can do it every 3 years, or we can do a titer to see if, 5 years down the road if the vaccine is still working or not. So it's something that is being debated constantly in the field of veterinary medicine, and there's plenty of doctors out there who vaccinate once a year, and those dogs seem to do fine, and there's other clinics like ours where we do every 3 years, and they seem to do fine too. So there's no clear-cut answer to that right now, but as far as picking and choosing vaccines, like you said, you don't do the Bordetella, your dog's not boarding at a facility, not going to dog parks, or there's the Lyme vaccine.
Yeah, we're gonna check on that one. Hopefully, we're doing it because I live in a tick area. So.
Right, and you'll almost never talk to somebody in the city of Chicago that gets Lyme vaccine for their dogs because they're not out in the woods, so they don't need it. So I think what the most responsible thing to do is talk to your veterinarian, do some research, see what diseases are in the wildlife in the area, and then vaccinate for those ones appropriately just to be as safe as possible.
Perfect. So as we close out here, it's going to be hot this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, before I get into that question, we spoke about something on the break. You, at your hospital, and I'm sure many, but at your veterinarian hospital, the Animal Hospital of Woodstock, we were talking about giving back to the community, and you guys do some special things with the police and fire departments. Can you fill us in on those?
Yeah, so we work with all the Woodstock police dogs. We work with some of the McHenry County police dogs and some different towns in the area, and we do all pro bono work for them just to have them in. And I'm sure you can hold that close at heart, being a former trooper. So.
Sure, that's nice that you guys do that and take care of them because. We think of them as pets, but they're working pets.
Yeah.
They're out working and hot, and they're in the hard weather, and they work winter, summer, spring, rain.
Absolutely.
They don't take time off, so that's nice that you do that. And then you were mentioning that you're doing some fire department training too.
Yeah, well, that was a few years back. We went and did some training with the local fire department and paramedics on their specific oxygen masks for dogs, and showing them how, the appropriate way to use it and the appropriate amount of oxygen to give, and how to check vitals on our pets, because let's be honest, in an emergency situation, veterinarians aren't going to be the first one on the scene. It's going to be your local PD and fire department, so it's important for them to know how to...
It's interesting how we've changed so much, like I said, and I think it changed for the good, how the pets have become part of our family, and not always, but I'll tell us a police war story of, and this was several years ago. We were doing a search warrant, and it was a drug search warrant at a house, and it was early in the morning, and it was just like on TV, the flashbangs and everything. And this house had dogs, and a couple of the dogs ran away. And all of a sudden, after the building was secured and everything, I was looking for the people that I was working with, the other agents and officers, and it's like, because 5 or 6 of them had left the area. And I'm like, hey, you're supposed to be here helping search the house and everything. Well, they were all dog lovers, and everyone went looking for the dog that ran away. And it was like, that was the important part. We need to find this dog because the dog was scared, and it was, we had nothing against the pet or anything like that. So, don't think that police don't have firemen, that we don't have soft hearts too when it comes to pets, but just shows you how we've changed in a society and how we are in this pet society. But boy, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like when I come home and my dog jumps up on my lap and just sits there, and they're always happy when you come home. And,
Absolutely.
So I think the last question I was going to ask is, it's going to be a hot weekend, and we're talking about pets running around and everything. They're talking about 90, humidity, the dog days of summer are always in August, and we couldn't pick a better one than this weekend. So let's talk about heat and pets, especially dogs and cats.
So there's a few different things, and like you said, more we see it in dogs because cats typically stay inside. They can get overheated if they're outside and they're chased by a dog, or if they are locked in a car, which is an important one that let's bring up. It's been very popular in the media lately, is dogs and even children being locked in cars. And we think, well, I'm just gonna run into a Walmart real quick for 15 minutes, and actually, so there was a study done by a veterinarian that he cracked all 4 windows in his car about 2 inches, so pretty significant amount, and that's what I would do too. And it was a 90-degree day.
It's going to give my dog it's going to let him cool off, but
Exactly.
they can't jump out of the car. No
Right.
one can reach in. And,
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
so is that okay?
Yeah, well, actually it's not. Even with all those windows cracked at a 90-degree day, within 15 minutes the temperature got up to over 110 degrees in the car.
Holy cow, and that's not good for the pets, is it?
Absolutely not. Dogs can't cool off nearly as well as humans can. They need, and without a source of water or any breeze or anything, they can go into heat stroke very quickly, and that is a serious condition. So it's important, anytime the temperature is over 80, I would not risk locking your dog in the car for more than, even 5 or 10 minutes, because you don't know how well they're going to respond to that heat, because it gets unbearable very, very quickly in there.
So the best, here would be and I'm not even a vet, but here would be my advice. If it's hot like it's going to be this weekend, treat your pets like you treat yourself, or treat your children, or treat the elderly. Let them inside where it's cool. If they're outside, let them have a place to be in the shade at least, where they can catch a breeze. Make sure they have plenty of water. Don't lock them in cars. Don't lock them in houses that they're going to be, where it's going to be hot. Check on them more periodically. All sorts of things like that, because they do bring us joy, but they can get the same thing that the humans can get, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And other things, pavement, when it's over 90 degrees, we see our dogs' feet, and they're so callousy and hard and think that they're fine walking on it, but I have dogs come in all the time with blisters on their feet from walking on hot pavement just from crossing the street. So
especially blacktop or
exactly, the blacktop is where we see it, or driveways or anything like that.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when it's hot, watch out for yourself and watch out for your pets. Well, we're at the end of the hour here. You've been listening to WXMR 94.3 LP. It's your house. I'm your host, Tim Sebastian. We'll be back next Thursday at 10 o'clock. You can get me at 815-568-8093 is the office number. Text me at 815-219-8794 or Tim at timothysebastian.com. But as we close out here, Dr. Dustin, tell us a little bit about, you told us in the beginning where you're from, so you live up here now?
Yeah, I live in Woodstock over in the Bull Valley area. So
plan on staying around here? Is that your goal, is to stay in this area? Or
That's
are you
the
gonna go
plan.
back down? Good. We'd like to see you stay. What do you do for fun? You're new to the area, but what's Dr. Dustin do for fun?
Well, it might go contrary to a lot of the viewpoints on veterinarians, but I'm a big hunter.